Hey guys, welcome to MCOM 5318 Advanced Social Media Practice. My name is Professor Lisa Lowe, and I am so glad you're here. I want to apologize in advance for the glare on my glasses. There's not a whole lot I can do about. I don't have a professional video studio, but I will try to keep this short and sweet. I'm so glad you're here. I know every professor that ever does any course probably says that, but I truly am. One of my favorite things to teach, to research, teach, and discuss is this phenomenon we call social media. I witnessed its birth in an internet chat room. Anyone else remember dial-up or the You've Got Mail from AOL days? I sure do. And I watched as MySpace gave way to YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and now Snapchat. Seeing all of these things grow up and some things die, like Vine, literally died on the vine, and other things that we're going to talk about throughout the semester. In fact, I created many of the official Texas Tech University social media accounts. Our YouTube channel, we were one of the first in higher education in the state of Texas to create our own channel, one of the first to create a Facebook page. So I've had a front row seat, which has been very, very interesting to me in my career. And as a professor of practice, I can assure you, although I don't have the PhD credentials behind my name, I have lots and lots of practice. And with regards to social media, there really is no substitute for hands-on with these tools. But enough about me. Today is really all about you, and I truly do mean that. It's about you. It's about the course interface, finding what you need when you need it. So I'm going to quickly review the rules of the road, if you'll pardon the pun, on our little stretch of the information superhighway. You're all graduate students. You either need or want this course to graduate and should be quite familiar with syllabi. You've probably seen more than a few in your day, so I'm not going to waste time reading it to you. I do consider it a contract between you and me. It's got helpful information if you're curious about the point structure, if you're curious about what my policy is on missed assessments. By the way, there are no such things as late work in my class. We only have 5 weeks together, so be sure that you're aware of deadlines. But make sure that you download that syllabus. You can locate it, download it, and you can find it if you need it. Keep it handy. I rarely deviate from it, but if I do, you can rest assured that I will be communicating with you in a transparent and timely manner. Communication, you'll probably come to find over the course of this semester, is very important to me. We are going to get to know each other over the next few weeks via chats and discussion boards, but I'd like to make sure you know how to reach me and know what to expect in response. To start off, the first mechanism I've prepared for communication is a general non-emergency Q&A discussion forum. And these are for observations. If you've seen something you find interesting, or you are having a hard time locating something, or you simply don't understand what I've referred to in perhaps a discussion, I'm having difficulty finding a quiz score, please post it there first. Also, as we move through the course of the semester, you'll find that others have maybe had the same problem and have located a solution either with my help or with some, I've had some really active students in the past in our online courses that have been very helpful. In fact, have been quicker to help than I have. So be sure that you check that first. If you don't see your issue, create a new thread, and you're going to be participating in discussion boards throughout the next 5 weeks. So you should, even if you haven't participated in a Blackboard Q&A, it's very, very simple. Don't be insulted if you email me and I ask that you post the question to the general Q&A. It's very important that you understand why I do that. There are a couple of reasons. I subscribe to that forum and it automatically generates an email with your question and sends it straight to my inbox, but also we know we have cell phones. So I can check it throughout the day, even if I'm away from my computer, which so happens is sometimes I definitely do have a very active life. I commit a lot of hours to being in my office that you can see behind me. But don't be insulted again if I ask you to post to the general Q&A. Virtual collaboration is a skill everyone should possess, and we're going to learn more about that through the group activities. After all, it's possible to connect with anyone instantly via digital media. To that end, I want to begin right out of the box, utilizing those tools in order to collaborate. And that points out a key concept that you're going to learn about this week and throughout the semester. It's called crowdsourcing, and it is looking to the crowd virtually to solve a problem or answer a question or do other kinds of activities that we'll learn about in terms of content marketing. But if you are curious about the word crowdsourcing, you can look it up in your book. If you'll go to the general Q&A, I also have a handy link so that you can learn more about that if you're curious right now. For everything else, I'm going to say this once and reiterate it. I highly suggest that you just grab the phone that you've got is sitting next to you, mine's right here, and text me. That is the quickest way between the two of us to communicate. And there are a few reasons why this is the best method. I believe in virtual collaboration. I believe in the shortest distance between 2 points. And so I want to make sure that if you have a question that you can get it answered pretty quickly. And that simulates a real classroom. You know, Professor Lowe, I have a question. So there are a couple of ways you can reach me immediately. The first is during my virtual office hours, Monday and Wednesday from 9 to 10, I will be available. It doesn't matter if I happen to be away from my office, I'll still be available via, we can Skype, we can text, we can communicate. But just make sure that you know that my virtual office hours are between 9 and 10 a.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. Outside of office hours, however, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., I am old after all. I go to bed kind of early. You can expect a response from me if you text me or leave me a voicemail with no longer than 3 hours, no longer than the average length of a movie. If I'm otherwise occupied, you know, what's the first thing that we all do? And we learn more about social media, personal social media use throughout the course. We check our phones. So I am more than happy to respond to you when you have a question. There are no silly questions. There are only answers, and that's what you're going to get from me. And you'll notice probably beginning this week and throughout the semester, it's important to me to give you every single thing that you need for the week, the moment that the week opens. And this week it's Tuesday at 12 a.m. Next week it'll be Monday at 12 a.m. Every single thing that you could possibly need for the week to complete the week's activities, reading, lectures, etc., is available to you beginning Monday morning or whenever the course opens at 12 a.m. That means a lot of work for me up front, but it also means that I'm available to you throughout the week, and that is the way I prefer it. Just because we're online, it doesn't mean that we can't have a robust, collaborative course environment. And again, that's very important to me throughout the semester. You can expect a lot of interaction through this course. It's not going to be one that you log on and then you can forget about it for the week. There is a lot of interaction. And one thing that I can pretty much promise you, the more you log on, the more you're going to get out of the course. The better you're going to do, the better understanding you'll have of the basic concepts, and then the better you're going to do on your assessments. So just, kind of final thought, if you aren't already in the workforce, you're going to find that today's 24/7 hyper-connected world demands that we have the ability to collaborate over great distances, maybe short distances or great distances. Maybe we're collaborating with colleagues in China in a different time zone using translation capability. It's possible in today's digital and social media environments. So I'd prefer to get you the help you need when you need it. Now, if you text me at midnight, you can expect an answer the next morning, as I mentioned earlier. Now, I'll close on a couple of pointers just so that you can kind of get used to the course organization. When you enter the course, your course homepage is the announcements page. And this is where I literally put all important announcements. If I feel like I'm not seeing as many people complete the assessments, I might get on and remind you, hey, don't forget we've got 4 quizzes due this week, or if you expect full credit for the discussion board, today's the last day to create an original post or to comment on someone's, otherwise you've run out of the 3-day minimum requirement. I post things there so you can always have a record. I also will copy you so that it goes straight to your inbox if I feel it's important enough for you to see it very quickly. Everything you need for the week is posted in the weekly modules, as I've mentioned. So if your work style is to sit down and bang it out and just, have hours or a single hour or multiple hours just getting and slogging through everything that you need, if that's your work style, then that's going to be your go-to area. Everything that you need, whether it's group work, personal assessments, individual assignments, everything is going to be linked under that weekly module, and there's going to be 5 of them beginning week 1, and all of them will be readily available throughout the course. So week 1 will be pushed down by week 2, and so forth and so on. So you'll always be able to navigate back to that weekly module if that's your comfort zone. But like all good user interfaces, I've built in some redundancy. So for example, in Word, which is our common word processing software, there are multiple ways to do the same thing. You can go up to the top of the interface and find the save button, or you can do it just a keyboard shortcut, or you can find it within another navigation. So I've built in some redundancy in much the same way. If your work style is to log in on Monday, take a look at the summary and just kind of digest, okay, this is what I need to do, add some reminders to your calendar, then close out and get to your day job or whatever it is that you're doing, then no problem. I have built in other modules you'll notice down the left-hand navigation. If you want to return later to take a quiz, click on the quizzes module. Every single quiz, all the 10 quizzes will eventually end up in that area. If you need to participate in a discussion or check out what's happening, then you can get in through the discussions link. You can complete an assignment through the assignments folder. So you're going to find that there's some redundancy in the course navigation. I try to make it so that no matter what your style, no matter what how you access the course, that everything that you need is going to be available to you in multiple places. You'll also discover I have a group project folder, and even though there's a group project module every week, beginning this week, you'll also find redundancy in terms of the group project. Everything that you need in there, everything you need for the group project will be in that folder. So you'll also, down the course navigation, you'll find my contact information. That's a good thing, right? You'll find the syllabus and the course schedule. You'll find links to our class Pinterest board and the class hashtag on Twitter. That's also an important way to interact outside of the Blackboard interface with your classmates and me. You'll also find links down the left to the gradebook. This is also a handy way to see everything that's due coming up and or see your grades all in one place. At the bottom, you'll find institutional resources like Blackboard Help, although I got to be honest, Our Blackboard help isn't that helpful, so I'm happy to answer questions if you have them, and links to things like the libraries and student disability services. So that's basically it. Generally, I have had great feedback from former students, both on my online environment and my physical environment, because I do a lot of virtual collaboration in both kinds of courses. And by all means, share your compliments. Of course, who doesn't like compliments? Love, love, love. But don't hesitate to share something that's frustrating you, or something that you that just doesn't seem quite right. Or maybe something's out of place. In digital design, we call this UX. That's user-centered design, and the UX can always be improved with the advent of multiple mobile devices and other ways that you access this course. Feel free to share that feedback with me, especially in week 2. I'm going to be asking you specific questions about that, because I have been known to tweak things in order to suit. I can't suit everyone's learning style, but I sure can work harder every week to make sure you get what you need. So with that, I'll say goodbye, and again state that I'm very glad you're here. I look forward to meeting you virtually. You'll see my virtual introduction on the discussion board already, and I look forward to talking to you soon.